All right, there's those folks. Let's get Facebook in here and we can start the show. Okay, spinning wheel. 1 and 2. All right, welcome in. It is Tuesday evening, July 1st. The slowest month of football, but there is it's all gas, no brakes here at Mile High Huddle and Building the Broncos. I am Nick Kendell and joined by, as always, Carl Dumler. Carl, I know that you got stuff to do tonight with stuff going on in your world, so we won't be here, an hour tonight, but we're still here. We're here to party, as MBLE X Test Prep likes to say. But how are you doing? We missed you last week, right? It was, or was it 2 weeks ago? They kind of merged together. This June was an absolute cluster, what, but we're here.
Yeah, no, I missed last week. I was down at camp with my son. I thought we were going to be coming back and forth, but he's like, nope, we're staying, Dad. And so I got the joy of trying to wrangle about 10 third and fourth grade boys, trying to get them to go to sleep at night for 3 straight nights. That was, that was quite the adventure to go through that. But yeah, and then tonight, probably won't be getting much sleep. I'll be painting a house. Not with this.
Man, you got that thing ready.
I'm
strapped.
hoping. Yeah. Well, it happened to be on my desk. I don't even know why it's on my desk. Somebody's been in here and maybe they painted a wall in my room here. But no, yeah, I get to go paint a house tonight. And hopefully, if the house gets painted, I will buy a house tomorrow, my very first house. And it'll be all official. My name will be on it and we'll move forward. But it's been a crazy process. I don't recommend it to too many people. Hopefully everybody else's process hasn't been as bad as ours. But like I said, we're nearing the end. So I'm happy about that. And I'm glad I get to be with you guys for just a little bit to make a hard day a little bit easier.
Yeah, and just kind of how the sausage is made in here. Carl, it looks like he's in a house right now, but it's actually a really fancy box. It's really spacious. He does have an AC in there. So, but the lighting's good for a box. It's just always great. It must be something about that Kansas air. We do. I don't know. Papa Bear, David Mickelrath coming in here. Good to see you. One of the OGs. And I mean, it's 4:45 when he dropped the super chat. He doesn't even know if we're, how the show is going to be. This is an investment in Nick and Carl and Building the Broncos and Mile High Huddle. So we appreciate that. And he says, good evening, Broncos country. Hashtag 13-4 plus. I love it. I mean, I'm as much of I'll believe it when I see it with the teams that I like. I think it's maybe a little bit to be guarded. Maybe it's to push back against the overzealous, like during the Drew Locke ages. MVP, he's going to win MVP. That kind of thing. It's like, oh, man, been burnt too many times. I want to see it before we can get there. But maybe it's those Iowa winters make you a little bitter. But no, yeah, 13-4 is possible. And I've said it on the show a lot of times. This is as optimistic about a Broncos team as I have been probably since after the 2013 season. Like 2014 went out on like a sad note. You had like Peyton Manning was like all of a sudden like, what's he going to look like? Because he looked not as good the second half of 2014. You had the coaching staff kind of pick apart as well. So 2015, I mean, still good, but like it was more like, oh my God, did we miss our window? So there's more angst. This doesn't feel angsty. This is like close to football nirvana. Want to see what it looks like first, but like sky high optimism and excitement.
Yeah. I still blame Del Rio for that 2014 season. I know, like I said, Peyton Manning had a little bit of a decline there at the end, but the fact that 2015, we have an historic defense with pretty much the exact same talent that we had in 2014. And Del Rio barely had us as a top 10 defense. He played the most vanilla scheme I've seen. And I mean, he just kind of had that idea of, hey, our players are better than your players. We're going to rush 4, drop 7. Good luck beating us that way. And against bad teams, they did great. But when you got against Tom Brady, trying to think all the quarterbacks from back then, Andrew Luck, yeah, I mean, that's who beat us in the playoffs. And so all of a sudden you went from you're a more talented team, but you're losing games to then the next year where I would question maybe a little bit, the offense, not a great unit. There's still some good players, don't get me wrong, but Peyton Manning fell off a huge cliff. And for that defense to carry him like they did just showed, man, when you combine talent with coaching, how much that makes a difference. Coaching's a bigger deal than people realize when it comes to the NFL.
you'll only ever go as far as your talent, but you can have talent wasted without the coaching at the end of the day. So, man, we got MB Elite coming in, test prep, $5. Says, can we just take a moment to remember and appreciate the fact that the Chiefs were down 40-6 in the Super Bowl? Yeah, I didn't watch the Chiefs Eagles first Super Bowl. I was sitting on a beach in Hawaii, and I'm like, do I want to watch these two teams I don't really care or like, or am I going to sit on a really remote, beautiful beach on the Kona side? Didn't watch that one. I did watch this one, and it was nice. So I did enjoy that, and man, I should have put some money down. Good to see Cooper DeJean with the interception as well. Did he have a pick six even? Was it a pick six for Cooper DeJean?
Yeah, I think it was on his birthday.
It was his birthday too. Yeah, absolutely, man. Beautiful thing. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for the good vibes rolling here. We also got Michael Ronquillo says, good evening, Nick and Carl on Building the Broncos. Go Broncos. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well, Michael. Hopefully it's not too hot where you're at. I'm soft these days. Anything with heat, and I'm like withering away thinking about it. So the thought of being in Tucson, not humid at least, but man, it's rough. Mike Thompson in the house as well. Hey, friends. Mike, we're your friends. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Hey to you. Ernie Mays, go Broncos country only. Appreciate that. Richie Rich coming in. Good afternoon, evening. Nick rocking the facial hair, and Carl has an all cropped and proper. Yeah, it's scruffy summer right now. We'll see. I haven't shaved since I think it was the second week of June, and then Natalie went to the hospital, and I was like, I'm not gonna do the mustache tour, but I'm just like, whatever at this point. But it's getting hot enough now that I kind of maybe I need to take care of it. Edward, what's up, guys? We're hanging in there. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you coming in. Great to see you. Roy Osborne, hey guys. Only one thing keeps me away from the meet and greet now. What is that? What's going on? Nick and Carl and Scott, only one thing keeps me away from the meet and greet. Is it because Russell Wilson's coming back to town? Is that going to keep you away? You have to let us know. And he says his range is to win 10 to 12 games. I think I was asked the other day, what do you think the Broncos' floor is? I mean, obviously injuries and stuff can happen. I could see them like regressing in some areas and like being a disappointing for us 8-win team. But right now, I feel like I don't know what the Vegas over-under is. I probably do in the back of my brain, but I can't be sure. Like 9.5 feels like a very safe bet. And gosh, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I hate it. I might take the over on the 9.5. I mean, this team is not backing away from any expectations either, and I just love it.
It is 9.5.
Okay, that feels right.
There was a guy, I think it was maybe on ESPN. He did an article about, like his favorites for trying to hit the unders, which ones to hit the over. And he had the Broncos as one of his favorites to do the under for 9.5. And he pretty much said, tough schedule. Teams around them got better, talking about the division. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much his main reasons. And I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, I'm going, okay, but you said nothing about what the Broncos did this offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, adding a guy like Hufanga, Greenlaw, Ingram,
second year for
running
your
back room.
All your offensive line is back. I mean,
yeah,
they didn't really lose. It's possible, right? It could happen, right? Like that's, I think 8 to 12 is probably reasonable, and that puts me on the higher end of excitement for this team, right? If I'm only one below the over under or 1.5, so.
Right. It was more that idea that like he talks about all these other teams and the moves that they've made, but he completely ignores and didn't say anything about what the Broncos did. It's like he pretty much had this idea of Broncos did nothing, that they're the exact same team they were last year. And now they just got handed a harder schedule. I don't think that's the case. And I don't think all the teams around them got better. I don't think the Chiefs are a better team than they were last year. We'll see. Maybe Travis Kelce has a resurgence for his final year in the NFL. Maybe their weapons finally stay healthy with Rashee Rice coming back, Hollywood Brown. Now they've got Xavier Worthy. Yeah. I mean, and if that happens, okay, maybe they will have that explosive offense that they haven't had since Tyreek Hill left. But right now, I don't think their defense is going to play to the level that it did. I think they've got a lot. I mean, they're playing that first place schedule. I think the rest of the division did a lot more to catch up to them. I mean, I'll give it to the Raiders. Eddie, I saw his comment in here earlier. I was on his show earlier this week. Shout out to him and his show.
Awesome.
But Raiders got better. I think Chargers got better. I think Broncos got better. And Chiefs, unless everyone there stays healthy and all of a sudden Josh Simmons is like rookie of the year left tackle, I think they're going to have some struggles. But I've been wrong before. And I mean, Chiefs have proven they have staying power. And they've got, as we talked earlier, that great coaching. They haven't really lost many on that coaching staff. So I can't take too much away from them. But I still think this is going to be a really competitive division. And I think there's a decent chance you've got at least 3 teams from the division with double-digit wins.
We'll see. I mean, I think I remember just a couple years ago, 3 years ago, like, is this the best quarterback division ever? When they had Derek Carr, Russell, 3 Hall of Famers. Like, how good is Herbert and Russell Wilson? So I trust the coaching staff here. It doesn't feel there's more stability for this Broncos team. A lot more questions answered and building upon rather than unknowns with wider variability. So Paul says we're legends, so I'll take it. He also says 17-0. So Paul's on something.
No homer there.
Yeah, Paul's on something. This one's probably more real, the 17-0 versus us being legends, but we appreciate it, Paul. Michael Latsky coming in from Puerto Rico. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you can see it up. I got a hat up there from him. I got my he also sent me a signed autograph from Kirk Ferentz. So, man, God, how cool. Thank you, Michael. Good to see you in here. Falcons fan hanging out with us today. However, he does say most is 10 wins. So, you're going to learn today, Michael. No, we'll see. I think 10 is very reasonable, but I don't know if I'd say it's the most. I mean, they might have the best defense in football and the best offensive line in football. That'll take you a long way. Greg Smith, good evening, Denver Broncos country, Denver Broncos for life. Good to see you. And somebody in here asked if we were going to be at the meet and greet. Here we go, Edward. Yes, I will be. I can't speak for anybody else. I guess things can happen. Somebody could be sick. Life happens. But right now, I plan on being there. So I don't want to give you my word, but it would take something pretty extraneous happening for me not to be there. So yes, will my facial hair be there? Will my parents be there again? I mean, they'd love it, man. They think there's celebrities there. Who are the legends? My parents think so. But no, planning on it. Should be there. I
should be.
Okay.
My wife and I have talked about it, but like you said, life does seem to happen a lot. You and I both have had a lot of ups and downs, chaotic things going on, kids, family. Now you've got a move coming up. I've just gotten through a move. So I'm like 90% sure that I'll be at the meet and greet this year.
We'll take it. That's a good number. Also a good number. Phil McLaughlin coming in with the stars says, good evening, Nick, Carl, and Deacon Scott. How serious was the injury that Locke had? And he's getting us on track here. So we had news today come out that PJ Locke, he has his own YouTube channel, and he's been chronicling his recovery from back surgery. And he had it this off season. It was, he had x-rays done, and a surgeon did surgery, as they do, to the discs on his L4 and L5 vertebrae, which had completely deteriorated with bone-to-bone contact. He had a lot of pain last season, and it is an extremely rare injury as well. I think it was Cody Rourke mentioned there'd only been one other athlete to ever had it diagnosed and done. But good news, he's about 5 months out. This is a quote from him, about 5 months out, and it's been nothing short of a blessing. Like a miracle, I've got no pain levels. Locke tells the camera, even like the little bit of pain I do have from certain movements, it's nothing compared to what I was dealing with during the season at all. So I feel like, man, it's just been a miracle. I feel like it's been a breakthrough I've been praying for. So regardless of what it means for his back, or not his back, but his like playing time as a Bronco and like career in football, I'm really happy to hear that he is dealing with far less pain, because like the debilitating stuff that these guys go through, it's one reason I'm a big advocate for lifetime health insurance, which I know is expensive, but like if you're a vested veteran in the league, I can't believe they don't have it in the CBA to have like lifelong health insurance following being in the NFL, because the injuries are insane, and like the body, especially like offensive linemen, all the stuff on the joints and car collisions constantly. I know it's going to be expensive. I don't give a hoot. That would be like first thing for me if I was head of the CBA, with lifetime insurance coverage if you are a vested veteran. But yeah, really happy to hear that he has a lot less pain following this miracle surgery. We'll see what it looks like for him long term. I don't know what the long-term prognosis is for him, but being relatively, not painless, but relatively pain-free for him, shout out to him, because I'm pulling that for all the players in the league.
Yeah, I can tell you. So way back when, before I married my wife, I dated somebody else, and her uncles were big guys. I mean, like shortest one was like 6'3", 250.
Wow.
And a few of them played for the University of Nebraska. One of them was an offensive lineman, and I went to, I think it was Thanksgiving with him. He couldn't sit in a normal chair because his knees just couldn't bend right. And their younger brother was the best of them all. And he was just getting ready to get out of high school. And I think he was like a 3 or 4 star recruit. And every one of his brothers came and said, don't go play football, because their bodies were so beat up just from playing in college, let alone going to the NFL. And so, yeah, to learn that he played through this kind of pain, I can't even begin to imagine playing this kind of game. And you're having not only just normal pain from it every single day, but then the impact from, trying to tackle somebody, getting hit, all those kind of things. And he played through it. We don't know the little things that these guys are going through on a day-to-day basis. We say, oh man, this guy sucked this game. It could be that he has some broken vertebrae. Mm-hmm. I mean, we learned later on that Bo Nix had 3 vertebrae that were chipped this past season, and kind of limited him a little bit as an athlete compared to earlier in the season. So those kind of things, we've got to try to have at least a little bit of grace. Like, okay, we've known this player can play at this kind of level. It's not like he all of a sudden just forgot to how to play football. And so maybe that explains a little bit of what PJ Locke went through. But I mean, even there, I'm still glad the Broncos upgraded the position. But hopefully PJ Locke can still be an impact guy for them, special teams, spot play, wherever you need him to do. He's a fighter. I got to give it to him. I mean, this guy coming in as an undrafted guy, he's fought for everything that he's gained. He's earned being in the NFL for sure. And now fighting back from this, very much cheering for that guy coming in this upcoming season.
Yeah, and he is in a precarious position roster-wise right now. The Broncos, outside of Hufanga, haven't really, made massive investments in the safety position, unless you count Jahdae Barron, and as well, Jaquan McMillan. So there's talk about that third safety role, and I don't know if you guys remember last season, but there was a few preseason reps where Jaquan McMillan was playing safety in base defense. So there has been some, at least dabbling from the staff of McMillan moving back there. And we do know that Vance Joseph's liked to use 3 safeties. How much of that is going to be covered up by having a versatile defensive back like Jahdae Barron, or potentially moving McMillan back there? But last season we saw, it was that Buffalo game, he struggled a lot, but the Broncos struggled also tremendously when his backup was in there. If you remember the Devon Key game, not so great. Denver also does have a 6th-round pick, JL Skinner, different kind of player than PJ Locke. They also have Delaren Turner-Yell coming back from injury, fighting for a spot, and Keydron Smith. So while Locke is out of the backups, the experienced veteran of the room, he's also the expensive one. And now he has a back injury, which you already have Talanoa Hufanga with his own injury questions. So I do think that, while I'm happy for the person, PJ Locke, and the fact he's getting healthier, his spot was precarious before. And I do think that this could hurt him a little bit too. We'll see what Denver's staff and medics, training staff, strength and conditioning, get their eyes on him and everything. And at the end of the day, if he's playing great and you have questions about Hufanga's long-term health, you don't just want to get rid of your next best safety. But you can save a little bit of cash moving on from him. So we will see. My one thing I do not know for sure is that because he did have this injury, what it could mean for waiving him and how guarantees could work if he's still dealing with an injury. But I mean, he has it on his, they could go to an arbiter on his own behalf. Sorry, I heard something bad happen upstairs. I heard stop. So hopefully the kid, he's been throwing toys. Not so fun. But yeah, they might have to go to an arbiter or something where guarantees can be, but you can use his own video against him. I'm feeling healthy. I'm feeling great. Oh, I'm injured. You can't release me. But we'll see. I think his spot was on thin ice before. And if he's got questions about his long-term health, it could be used against him as a tiebreaker.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know about the injury stuff, but if the Broncos were to cut him right now, they would save about $4.2 million on the cap.
That's a good bit
big number for a backup.
Third safety. Yeah. Especially when you have, again, we talked about Barron is going to be more of a movable piece out there. So, and Locke, while he's probably your best next safety on the depth chart, he doesn't offer as much special teams as these other guys, specifically JL Skinner. But yeah, I mean, fight an uphill battle. I didn't know the number was that big. I'm glad you looked it up. I was just pulling up his contract. So how much was it again?
Yeah. 4.19, so 4.2 million, and he'd have 1 million in dead money.
Honestly, hearing that number, it's a little surprising that he's still here after signing Hufanga. You almost wonder if the back injury stuff kept him here at this point. Now he's further along. You might be able to not owe him as much guarantees. I don't know how that always works. I know there's like with injuries, if you release guys, there can be problems if they're straight up injured on that contract. But man, I don't know. Let's just say, right now, is PJ Locke going to make this team? I mean, a good story. He works really hard by all accounts, really liked in the locker room. He's older. He can save a lot of, I mean, that's J.K. Dobbins' contract right there almost, right? Like a full-on starting running back, the third highest paid running back saved right there. I don't know, man. I think if it's close at all, they're going to go with one of the young guys.
And unfortunately, the other part of this is the Broncos have a lot of guys that they're trying to sign too. Mm-hmm. You've got Zach Allen that you're trying to get a long-term deal done with, Nick Benito possibly trying to get something done with, Cortland Sutton. And like a guy like Cortland Sutton, let's say you go to him and say, hey, we're willing to give you an extra couple million in guarantees to make you feel better about being here. That might be what gets him over the top to saying, yep, I want to be a Denver Bronco.
Man.
And it just, and maybe PJ Locke becomes a nice trade piece too. If you get into training camp and he's looking pretty good and some team has a safety go down, or you've got a team like, Pittsburgh that just traded away a safety. Maybe they're not liking what they're seeing from their backup guys, and you make that decision. Hey, let's make that trade, get 6th-round pick for him. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to say let's get the guy out of here, because there is talent, there is experience that you really like. He knows this system, and he's had some really big plays here in Denver over the years. I mean, obviously the pick against Green Bay to help secure that win when that whole season was looking like it was heading down a really, really bad path. And that was meet and greet game. Yep. We got my dad and I were sitting in seats there at that end zone and got to see that one up nice and close. And it was just such a big moment. So for me personally, like I said, that was such a fun moment with my dad to get to celebrate that interception. So PJ Locke, I really do appreciate that. But like I said, this is the NFL. It's a business, and this is how teams function. Like I said, if there's another safety that steps up and you're going, hey, we really like JL Skinner. He's taken that next leap for us, and he helps on special teams, and he's cheaper. It's just the way it goes. And sometimes those fan favorites, they don't always stay here because an NFL team says we can get something similar for cheaper.
Certainly possible. And Scott, Mr. Producer today, says that Locke is 29th in cap hit among safeties. So getting average starter money in the league, because you obviously 2 safeties, so right around average money as a roster bubble kind of guy. So the math ain't mathin' for Mr. Locke. But the one thing he has going for him is Hufanga has a long injury history as well. So he's got to beat out the guys. If it's close at all, though, he might be in trouble. So we'll see. But regardless, bottom line for me, I mean, he got that contract. Happy for him. He got a chance, even though it was injury-plagued last season. He fought through it. So, I mean, like you said, you never know what these guys are dealing with, both physically and mentally behind the scenes. But got some money, and he's healthier now following this procedure. So hopefully that continue, and not pulling against him by any means. But you never know, right? It is it's a cutthroat business at the end of the day. We do have our guy Doug coming in here saying, how long will it take before the offense is on par with the defense? It could be this season. I mean, I don't want to knock on wood, but defense, it's a much more Jenga position or unit on the field, where you pull one piece and it can kind of topple down. We saw it last season with the Broncos defense against the Browns, right? You built in a little bit of security, bringing in Barron and having McMillan still out there, but it is definitely a first to fail kind of system out there, weakest link system. So defense, somebody regresses, somebody gets injured, offense steps up. You got the offensive line. You had an RJ Harvey. You got Bo Nix second year. It could happen this season. On paper, I think Denver will probably finish somewhere like 14th to 18th offensively. I don't know. I want to see it still like the high flying style of things. So maybe 12th. We'll go 12th to 18th. So right there, middle of the pack, where the defense is probably more. I mean, ceiling is number one, probably all the way down to like 8th overall. Now, granted, that's everyone's staying relatively healthy, but you never know. It could happen this season. You got recipe for this team to take a giant leap on the offensive side of the ball with Sean Payton, second year Bo Nix, and RJ Harvey and Evan Ingram as well. So there's the reason for optimism there. It could happen.
What stats are you looking for then, I guess? Are you looking at like points scored?
Nope. I'm looking at the advanced stats. Your points, I know they're top 10 last season, but guess what? If the defense gives you the ball in the best field position in the NFL every single time, you're going to score more points. So I'm looking more at DVOA and EPA per play, ideally with a win probability filter in there. I think that's more indicative to actually the quality of play on the field.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm with you. And like I said, I mean, the nice thing the offense has going, you said it earlier, they have a top 3, possibly number 1 offense in football. Mm-hmm. That's going to be huge for trying to get this run game off the ground. And that was on purpose saying it that way. And got 2 new running backs that hopefully can get you a top 12 running game going. So Sean Payton, he does like to actually run the football if he has running backs that can actually do it. Last year, we didn't have that. And then, if you get Bo Nix playing really how he played the second half of the season, he was a top 12 quarterback in football over the last half of the season. If you can get him to play that way for an entire year, yeah, you've probably got a pretty good chance of having a top 12, top 10 area offense. And the defense, there's numbers I can't think they're going to be at the same level in sacks as they were last year. You just set the all-time record for sacks. And while I do think they got better on defense, I think there's other stats that could show that this is a better defense overall, but have less sacks overall. Maybe they get a few more turnovers. Maybe they don't have this up and down. We're really good against bad teams, but then you get against the Baltimores, the Buffaloes, I hate to even say Cleveland, but I mean, Cleveland dominated the Broncos. You get against those kind of teams, and all of a sudden they can just score at will on this defense. And so I don't think you're going to have that as much, which will be great. And Troy coming and saying, I paint houses for a living every day for over 25 years. You'll be okay. Yeah, I got to go get some spotlights because, like I said, we're going to be going all night, and I need to actually see that I'm painting the right things and that it's getting where it needs to go. Thankfully, it's a pretty small house. I don't think it's going to be crazy late trying to get it all done. It's just one of those, unfortunately, somebody drops in your lap, says, oh, hey, yeah, we'll sign the deal, but you need to do this in the next 24 hours.
What I hear is Troy's offering his services instead of a super chat. So he'll be over.
Oh, there we go.
To help out. So appreciate it, Troy. Thank you for the comment. Albert, do you guys think the Broncos offense can, he asked it as well. So I actually wanted to get this up, y'all. But we answered it, and good to see you, Albert. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Daniel Berry Sports. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Good to see you. He also says, thanks for the coverage. You all are the best. Well, you're the best, Troy. And I was just teasing you before. Now I feel bad for teasing you. Patrick coming in, our coffee guy, talking about Carl's going to need to burn the midnight oil or the grind the midnight beans, I guess. Aloha, gents, from San Antonio this week. So, yeah, great time. Beautiful city. And let's keep it going here, talking about the offense catching the defense. The Athletic put out an article here recently talking about the Broncos kind of pumping the brakes a little bit on the impact of J.K. Dobbins. So, quote unquote, on this one, Nick Kosmider, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. He does good work over the Athletic. Says Dobbins, who signed a 1-year deal during minicamp, is being counted on to deliver a consistent presence in the backfield that Denver simply didn't have during Nick's first season. Rookie RJ Harvey should be a versatile and impactful weapon in Sean Payton's offense, but the Broncos need Dobbins, who rushed for 905 yards in 13 games last season, to be an every down staple. So questioning him being able to be that guy, maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and I just want explosive plays from the run game so much, but I think Dobbins is your floor raiser, where it's still, this is about Harvey at the end of the day. So can Harvey do enough in pass protection or as a pass catcher? But really, I think both together, it still should be better than what you had last season. And, I always sung the praises of Javonte Williams' pass coverage on here. I think Williams/Dobbins, I don't think it's massively different. And the market says it's not massively different either, also from what the Cowboys paid Williams to what the Broncos paid Dobbins. But adding Harvey in there as well changes the dynamic. So I'll say this, if Dobbins is your full-time starter and earns the most rushing yards this season, most carries, most targets, I think you'll probably be underwhelmed with what the rushing offense was.
Yeah, I think part of it last year for Dobbins, he started off really, really hot, and then he got injured there, and he just never quite was that same player. I mean, we're talking PJ Locke with his injury, where you see some of that explosiveness get zapped because of that. And here in Denver, thankfully, he doesn't have to be the man to make the run game go. When you've got RJ Harvey, you still have some other guys, estimate back there, that maybe could turn into something for you as well. So Dobbins doesn't have to carry the full load for this to be a really good running game. And I'm sure Sean Payton's going to do a great job figuring out, okay, this is what Dobbins is good at. This is what Harvey's really good at. And I'm going to put them in their place to get the best out of them and make teams have to figure out, okay, Harvey's in the game. What do they try to do with him? Is he going to be running some wheel routes? Are they going to put Mims in the backfield with him? And both those guys running wheel routes. And now we got to have linebackers chasing down the field with these guys with incredible speed. The getting to the outside runs. How are we going to handle short yardage, goal line? That's the nice thing is, like I said, you've got a few more options of what you can do. Last year it was kind of, Javonte Williams, it's pass block, or he's just going to have to run straight forward. And that, when a defense sees that, they go, okay, this is easy. We don't have to worry about him beating us to the edge. McLaughlin, we don't have to worry that he's going to beat us inside. He's going to try to kick it outside.
Yeah.
Estime, I don't know. It was just a throwaway season, unfortunately, for him with his fumbles and just lost a lot of confidence. He just didn't run like you saw him there in college. And so, like I said, getting anything from the run game is already an upgrade. You maybe had the second or the worst running backs in football last year as a group. I'm thinking maybe, would you put the Patriots maybe worse with Ramondre Stevenson with all of his fumbles?
Probably. The Cowboys are up there too. I mean,
yeah,
I know they took Williams. The Cowboys got to be right there with him. I think Mike Clay for ESPN as the Broncos running back says the worst in the NFL. And until we see it, Harvey proof of concept, that's fine. But you can believe either way. But I'm hoping with the infrastructure and Sean Payton pulling the strings, you just amplify it a lot.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. And he said, could we see a couple 800+ yards from our backs? I think in total yards, certainly possible. But just rush yards, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't completely count out McLaughlin or Estime yet either, right? When we talk about it, injuries change and something can click. So you got a lot of Blake Watson. I mean, a lot of possibilities there. But I don't know about 800-yard rusher. 800 total yards though, possible.
Yeah, I think Harvey being a second-round pick, if he didn't have 800 total yards, I think it would be considered not a bust of a season, but I think it would be a disappointment for sure. You have high expectations of this guy being a very big part of this offense. And Dobbins being 1A, 1B, like I said, I think you expect both of them to have that 800+ yards. So teams have to respect that the running backs can actually be an impact players on this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. So appreciate that, Phil. We also got Benjamin coming in here. This is a aloha moment. He says, "Hola, men, go Broncos." More of an aloha moment because it's hello, goodbye. So my internet's kind of starting to dip out, and I think I need to get on helping with baby duty. My wife is still working her way back. She's healthier and home, but not 100% yet. And God bless her. She's watching the kid by herself. Mother-in-law left Monday morning. And also know Carl's got to get moving too. So appreciate everybody coming in here. Make sure you guys are following Carl and I on Twitter. Carl's at Carl Dumler MHH. I'm at Nick Kendell MHH. Shout out to all our super chat givers today. David, Papa Bear, Mickelrath, of course, with the Scottish. And here we always appreciate the Scots. NBLE Test Prep. Good to see you. Michael Ronque a few times as well. Phil McLaughlin a few times. You guys are awesome. We really, really do appreciate everyone hanging out here. Make sure, like I said, make sure you're following Carl and I on Twitter. Carl's at Carl Dumler MHH. I'm at Nick Kendell MHH. We're also at Mile High Huddle, of course. If you haven't done so yet, we're at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle and facebook.com/Mile High Huddle pod. You can follow us there. And as that ticker says there underneath, please subscribe, like, and share. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Carl, we're coming up on our 1 year since I dragged your butt out into the mountains, and we had not to share too much. We had to poop in bags, right, at that high elevation, the WAG bags. And you took me to Vegas, which Vegas in the summertime, I'm not so sure about. But it was a nice jumping off point heading over to climb Mount Whitney.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the highlight of the trip, of course, was the hike and getting to see some incredible things. But seeing your eyes in Vegas and just, I mean, you were wide-eyed, like, is this real? What am I seeing real? They let you do this?
I was like, I'm with my 18-month-old brain. I'm overstimulated right now. The people ziplining with the giant screen above them stuff too, and all the it would be an elite sports watching situation. I don't know about summertime in Vegas. Also, we had like really bad wildfire smoke when we were there too, so it was like bizarre. But yeah, that steak dinner, that's what I remember. That was my favorite. The food scene. That's
the drinks and watching the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that was a good moment as well. And hey, thankfully, Cardinals doing really well lately. Knock on wood, keep that going. And but no, appreciate you all coming in. I know a little bit shorter tonight, but it is early part of July. Here in the next about 2-3 weeks, things will be kicking back up with training camp kicking off, and we'll really get back into things. But right now, it's just a fun time talking about some crazy things. And I mean, PJ Locke, thankfully, him sharing his story, great for him. Good guy. Wish him well in his recovery, and hopefully he's making another impact for the Broncos. Another big interception during the meet and greet. That would be great. I would love that against Russell Wilson. And but anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. Nick, good to see you. And man, we'll just keep going.
There's no quit. Appreciate everyone. Have a great rest of your night. Always choose kindness, compassion. I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Carl, go paint that house. Go Broncos.